The holidays are almost here. It's time to start thinking about gifts, guests, and going places. I've got a couple of recipes to share with you today that you can make ahead, that you can freeze, that you can have ready whenever you need it for a gift, for a guest, or if you are going places. Hey everybody, welcome to Cooking It Real. I'm Kathy and I'm so glad you're joining me today. Well, now that the holidays are almost here, it's time to start thinking about what we can do ahead of time to make the holidays easier for ourselves. Are we going to have guests joining us in our homes? Are we going to be guests in someone else's home? And what about the people who we want to give gifts to? What can we give from our kitchen? I've got two recipes for you today, both of them quick breads. And these breads are delicious, kind of nostalgic, certainly perfect for the holidays. They're great to have on hand for family and friends when they come to your home as guests, or you go to their home as a guest, and they make great gifts too. Certainly something you could tuck into a gift basket or share with neighbors and coworkers. The two I have for you today is one, cranberry pineapple walnut quick bread, and the other is an old-fashioned date nut bread. The first one I'm going to show you is the cranberry pineapple walnut bread, but there is a step for the date nut bread that we have to do first because we have to let it sit and cool. So let me bring you down so you can see what I'm doing, and let's get our bake on. Okay, what I have in this bowl is 1 cup of chopped dates. Okay, I used medjool dates because that's what I have in my house. And what I do is I just cut a slit down the center, open them up, and this is what they look like inside. They have a pit, you want to take that out for sure. And then I just cut this into strips and then chop it up fine. And I have various sizes. Some are big, some are small. None are very big. This is probably the biggest. Okay, that's about 1/2 inch, but a lot of them are really small. I have these dates in my pantry, so that's why I wanted to use them. But if you don't have dates, you can either buy yourself some medjool dates if you want, or you can go to the grocery store and in the baking aisle, you'll probably see a bag of dates. They're about the size of a chocolate chip bag, and there's about 2 cups in it. And so they're already chopped, all right? But what we have to do right now is take these chopped dates, and we need to pour 2 cups of boiling water over them, let them soak, and let them cool all the way. All right, here's my 2 cups of boiling water. I'm just gonna pour that in, and you wanna measure it correctly because we're gonna be using the water in the recipe. So I'm just gonna put that aside, and we're gonna get started on the cranberry pineapple walnut bread. What we're gonna start with is a 12-ounce bag of fresh cranberries. You can find these in your produce department. You wanna give them a real good rinse and pick out any that might feel a little soft. This one's a little squishy. This one is a little light colored, and this one is like white. It's just not ripe. So I'm going to leave those out. We're going to put them in the food processor and chop them up. I'm just going to give them a couple of pulses. You don't want to turn them into mush, but you do want to make them chopped. If you don't have a food processor, you can definitely chop them by hand with a knife, but I'm telling you, they are the most rolly, skittery things you're ever gonna try to chop. So good luck. All right, in a large bowl, we want to crack 3 eggs. 1, 2, and 3. We want to whisk the eggs with 1 cup of neutral oil, canola oil, vegetable oil. This is canola oil, 1 cup. right, 2 cups of granulated sugar, white sugar. Ooh, there we go. 2 cups, and this is my half cup measure. That's not gonna fit. 3rd cup measure will fit much better. So 2 cups, and this is 1/3 of a cup. So 1, 2, 3 equals 1 cup, and 1, 2, come on now, 3 equals 2 cups. Okay, get that whisking in there. And we need, let's see, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Let's see, is this open? Yes, good. 1 teaspoon. Boop. There we go. Now we're going to whisk that all together. There we go. Oh, that's looking good. Nice. All right. If you have like a, a hand mixer or something, you want to use, you can do that. But it's just as easy to whisk. All righty. All right, let's see what else we got to do next. All right, now we have our cranberries. We want to put that in. We'll add all of them in. Let's take out our and you can see how they're just kind of rough chopped. It's going to make such a pretty quick bread. Oh. Did I say that these cranberries came from Wisconsin? That's what it says in the bag. But I remember growing up in Massachusetts, seeing the cranberry bogs down on the Cape Cod, and oh, when they started to ripen and turn red, it was such a pretty sight. Beautiful. Love it. All right, we're going to get the little bits off of this too. Don't waste it. All right. Now, I haven't made this recipe before, so I am reading the directions. So, I apologize for that. Let's see. I'm going to take this whisk and put it over here. I'm going to mix these in, and we need to add what else? Oh, the pineapple. Yes. Now, the recipe calls for an 8-ounce can of crushed pineapple in juice. Now, I have 20-ounce cans of pineapple, which is just too much. But then I remembered I have these little snack packs of pineapple, and they're 4 ounces each. So I'm just going to throw them in. It's not crushed, but it is like in tiny little tidbits. Let's see if I can get this off. Ooh. Oh, mercy. Oh, mercy me. Okay, hang on. Oh, yeah, here we go. All righty. And you want to add the juice as well as the pineapple. Just toss it in there. Once you get it open, help! Oh, help. Mercy. Okay, here we go. Boom. All right, that's 8 ounces of pineapple. If you didn't have crushed pineapple and you had an 8-ounce can of like pineapple rings or something, you could just, empty them out and just give them a chop, and that would be fine. This is going to work out great, I can tell. All right, let's see. Now what do we need to do? We need to add our dry ingredients. I forgot to tell you, I have my oven preheated at 350 degrees, and I have some bread pans that I've sprayed with cooking spray. All right, now let's do my naughty girl thing where I add my dry ingredients straight into the mixture. Don't tell on me. All right, I've already measured them out. What I have here is 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and this is 2 teaspoons of the pumpkin spice mix that we made in a previous video. The recipe calls for a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of ginger, and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg, which altogether adds up to 2 teaspoons. So I just used 2 teaspoons of my pumpkin spice. And we're just going to add all that in. Okay. I'm going to give it a little stir. Get all those spices and stuff mixed in. I know you're not supposed to do it this way, but I've been doing it this way for, I don't know, about 50 some odd years. So that's the way it gets done. All right, now we need how much flour? We need 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and we're going to add that to this mixture, and we're only going to mix it until it just comes together. All right, there's a 1. 2. And 3. All right. Bada boom, bada bing. Just going to mix this up just until it starts to come together. If you overmix it, you don't want to use your mixer, your stand mixer or your handheld mixer. You don't want to really use that right now because you're just trying to moisten the flour basically with all your other ingredients. And you don't want to get it going too fast or too hard, or else you won't have a soft and moist quick bread. Look at that. Okay. That's about right. I think I got everything off the bottom, pretty sure. Let me get my pans. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 1 loaf pan, and then I'm going to make 4 of these small little, I think this is like a 12-ounce pan. And we're just going to, I might need to get a different spoon or a spatula. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a spatula. Hold on. Now these have to bake in a 350 oven. This one for 45 to 50 minutes. Because these are smaller, these won't take as much time. So I'm going to start checking these at about 25 minutes. So when I put them in the oven, I'm going to set the timer for 25 minutes, and then we'll go from there. I just remembered that I forgot to put the walnuts in. Oh my goodness. All right, I got a cup of chopped walnuts here. I suppose I could leave them out, but I haven't made this before, and I really want to make it the right way the first time. So between this, I think I'm going to do half of the walnuts go into this big guy. It's about 1/2 cup, and then I'll just divide the rest here. You know, if you're not a walnut person, of course you could leave it out, or you could do pecans or your favorite nut. This one isn't going to have a whole lot, but that's okay. All right, so I'm just going to give this a little stir, little mixy mix. My gosh, Kathy, what are you thinking? Now, see, this is why you should be thinking ahead. If this was the day before Thanksgiving or whatever, and I had 100 other things going on in the kitchen, I would definitely not have caught my mistake like I just did. So, okay, guys, this is going to work out. What was it Julia Child said? You know, whatever you do in your kitchen, no one sees it but you. Unless, of course, you put it on YouTube. All right. But hey, that's part of cooking it real, right? We got the real deal. All right, I'm gonna use my little finger here to scoop that off. Good, good, good. All right, now they're gonna go in the 350 oven. 25 minutes for these. Start checking them. And this might go as much as 50 minutes. We'll just have to see. All right, so I've cleaned out my bowl and my utensils. And let's get started on that date nut bread. All right, first thing we want to do, I have 2 tablespoons of melted unsalted butter. We want to pour that into the big bowl. Into that, we want to add eggs, 2 eggs. Where's my eggs? Here they are. 2 eggs. 1 and 2. Come on now. All right. These will go to the worms. 2 eggs. Give that a little bit of a whisk. That butter was melted, but it's not hot. It's cooled off just a little bit, so it's not going to scramble the eggs. Now we need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Whoop, 1, 2. And 2 cups of granulated sugar. It's my 1/3 cup measure, so I'm going to need 6 of those. 1, 2, 3, makes 1 cup. Ooh, I think I got just enough. And 1, 2, 3, makes 2 cups. Good, good, good. Mix all that in. Okay. Now, date nut bread is very nostalgic for me because it brings me right back to my Nana. She would make date nut bread, and that's my grandmother on my dad's side. And in that household, they were mostly tea drinkers. My papa and my Uncle Tommy drank coffee, but everyone else drank tea, including my dad. And Nana would always have something like this, a quick bread or whatever, and date nut bread was a staple. And she would, it goes so great with a cup of tea. Hot cup of tea, hot cup of coffee, boom, perfect. All right, now let's check and see the temperature of our dates. Oh yeah, that's plenty cool. All right, so now take this out. Okay, enough foolishness. And we're going to add the dates and the water. We're going to add all of it in together. And those dates have softened up some and plumped up some. You want to do that even if you're buying already chopped up dates in the bag. You definitely want to do that. All right, let's give that a little mixy. Both of these breads freeze wonderfully, which means that, and they each make, and each recipe makes 2 loaves, or, you know, in the case of the cranberry pineapple walnut bread, I made 1 loaf and 4 mini loaves, but this I'm going to just make into 2 loaves. And so one can be for you, you can eat it right now, and the other one can be for later or gift giving or put it in the freezer. All right, that is good, good, good. Okay, now I'm going to do another bad girl baking thing, and I'm going to add my 1 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking soda right into the wet mixture. I'm going to give that a mix. And this time I'm not going to forget the nuts. So I'm going to put those in right now. 1 cup of chopped walnuts, which you can either leave out or you can substitute with another nut of your choice. All right, that looks good. And now we need 4 cups of all-purpose flour. And once again, we don't want to overmix. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This time I'm going to divide our batter between 2 smaller sized loaf pans than the one I used for the cranberry pineapple walnut bread. So let's see what we can get going here. Do about half. And see what we got. This is going to be good. I'm going to be having guests next weekend and for Thanksgiving. And I'm also going to be a guest in early December and then have more guests in mid-December. I don't even know what's going to happen at Christmas right now, but so I am going to not just bake this today, but I'm going to be baking. I'm going to be a baking crazy woman in these next few weeks. All right. So these are going to go into a 350 oven, and these are going to cook about the same amount of time, about 50 to 60 minutes, and then we'll check them with a toothpick, and if it comes out clean, then they're done. It's been 25 minutes, and it's obvious that these are still, they're definitely not done. So I'm going to put them in probably for another 15 minutes and see where that takes us. 40 minutes altogether for these guys. Let's give it a test. They look like they might be done, but this is my turkey pin or toothpick, whatever you got. If it comes out clean, yeah, that looks looking good. Ooh, yeah. A little bit more on this guy. I think I'm going to give him 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to call it. Cool them in the pans for about 15 minutes, and then turn them out on a rack to cool completely. So in for 5 more minutes. Like I said, I'm going to call these guys done. Yep, that's good. And I figure we'll check on the big guy too. That's still a little bit moist. I'm going to give him another 10 minutes. I'm going to put these on the rack. We're going to cool them in the pan for 15 minutes. Then we'll take them out. Now that we got our first mini pans out of the oven, I'll be back when everything is fully baked, and we will talk about how to store them and save them and serve them. So don't go away. So everything is nice and cool, and we're ready to cut into it and give it a taste. But before I do that, I'd like to invite you to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. If you are a subscriber, I am so very grateful. Look at this beautiful thing. Date night bread. Date night, date nut bread. Date nut bread, just like Nana used to make. Let's start with the cranberry pineapple walnut bread. This is one of the mini loaves. Look at how beautiful that turned out. That would make a perfect little gift, wouldn't it? All right, I'm just going to cut a slice off the end here. This is very, very moist. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, look at that. Can you see that? I'm going to try to put it up close. Can you see that? Hope you can. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, I can't wait to taste that. I'm going to put that right over here. Now, here's our date nut bread. Look at that beautiful loaf. I made 2 loaves. I'm just going to take the end piece off. That'll be for me to taste. Oh, this one is very moist too. It's not quite as juicy as the cranberry pineapple one, but oh, look. Oh my goodness, look at that. I am excited. That is a beautiful thing. All right, now it's time to taste. I don't know which one to have first. I'm going to try the cranberry pineapple one. It's so cute. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's good. Pineapple really comes through. So delicious. Now the date nut bread, like Nana used to make. And this is the end piece, so an interior piece would be a little more moist, maybe. I don't know, but let's see. So good. The texture is more firm than the other bread, but oh, this would be delicious with like a smear of butter or cream cheese. Oh, that's delicious. Now, if you were going to put these in your freezer for storage for later, you want to wrap them well in some plastic wrap. Over that, put tin foil, okay? And then put them into a freezer bag. And then you can store it in your freezer all through the holidays. And then pull it out. You can let it thaw. You can, if you have a good enough knife, you can cut it while it's frozen. You can pop it in the toaster to warm it up or pop it in the oven. All kinds of things you can do with these delicious breads. Oh, let's have one more look. Ooh, how pretty. Oh, well, that's it, friends. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.